Over 60? The fish on your plate may quietly damage your brain and heart. Tonight, discover the 4 to avoid and the 4 to eat instead. I'm the host of The Elder's Guide, and today I want to take you on a journey through one of the most common but misunderstood foods in the diet of people over 60. Fish. You've probably been told for decades that fish is always a safe and healthy choice. Doctors, magazines, and television have all repeated the same message. Eat fish twice a week, and your heart will thank you. But here's the truth many older adults never hear. Not all fish are the same, and some can quietly harm your brain, your heart, and even accelerate the aging process. Others, when chosen wisely, may protect your memory, calm inflammation, and keep your muscles strong well into your 70s and 80s. Imagine sitting down to a simple tuna sandwich, thinking you're doing something good for your health, when in fact, that sandwich may be loading your body with mercury that builds up week after week. Or think about buying a bag of tilapia fillets because they're affordable and easy to cook, not realizing that the way they were farmed left them nutritionally poor and packed with inflammatory fats. These are not scare stories. Peer-reviewed science published in respected journals has shown that seniors who regularly eat the wrong fish may face higher risks of stroke, memory decline, and chronic inflammation that worsens arthritis and heart disease. The good news is that the right fish, clean, nutrient-dense, and affordable, can offer the opposite effect, lowering risk of Alzheimer's by up to 40%, supporting bone strength, and even slowing the invisible process of cellular aging. So tonight, I want to make this simple. There are 4 kinds of fish you should avoid after 60, and 4 kinds you should welcome to your table. My goal is not to scare you away from seafood, but to help you eat it more wisely, so that every bite you take works for you, not against you. And as always, remember this. The information in this video is for education only. If you have specific medical conditions or concerns, talk to your doctor before making major changes to your diet. Let's begin with the fish that may be quietly doing you harm. One of the most common is imported catfish. At first glance, it seems harmless, mild in flavor, inexpensive, and easy to cook. That's why it shows up in so many households. But much of the catfish imported from certain regions overseas is raised in crowded, poorly regulated ponds, where disease spreads quickly. To keep the fish alive, farmers rely heavily on antibiotics and antifungal agents. These residues can remain in the flesh and make their way into your body. For a senior whose immune system is already working harder, repeated exposure can contribute to antibiotic resistance, making medications less effective when you really need them. Tests on imported catfish have also found traces of banned chemicals and heavy metals like lead and mercury. And to make matters worse, the feed given to these fish is often heavy in corn and soy, which skews their fat profile toward omega-6 fatty acids. Your body needs some omega-6, but too much relative to omega-3 acts like gasoline on the fire of inflammation, fueling arthritis, heart problems, and even cognitive decline. So if catfish is on your menu, make sure it comes from domestic, responsibly regulated farms, or consider leaving it behind altogether. Another fish that deserves caution is tuna, especially the larger species like albacore and big eye. Tuna has long been marketed as lean and healthy, and canned tuna is a staple in many pantries. But the bigger the fish and the longer it lives, the more mercury it accumulates. Mercury is a heavy metal that settles in your tissues, particularly the brain and nervous system. For younger adults, small exposures may be tolerated, but after 60, detoxification slows down. The same exposure that once seemed harmless can now contribute to memory problems, mood swings, numbness, tremors, and even irregular heart rhythms. A study in JAMA Neurology found that seniors with higher mercury levels from tuna consumption had up to 65% greater risk of cognitive decline. That's not something you can shrug off as just aging. Even light-canned tuna, which contains less mercury, should be eaten only occasionally. If you enjoy tuna, keep it to small portions no more than once or twice a month, and rotate in safer options we'll discuss later. Think about it. Have you noticed tuna sandwiches creeping into your weekly routine without much thought? That quiet habit may be doing more harm than you realize. The third fish on the danger list is king mackerel. This one is tricky because not all mackerel are bad. In fact, Atlantic and Spanish mackerel are small, oily, and actually quite good for you. But king mackerel, the large cousin, is loaded with mercury and consistently lands on the do not eat list from both the FDA and the EPA. The problem is that in many stores and restaurants, the label may simply say mackerel, leaving you with no clue which type you're getting. Seniors who think they're choosing a heart-healthy fish may actually be serving themselves something that increases the risk of neurological decline and heart trouble. Unless you know for certain it's Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, it's best to skip mackerel entirely. The fourth and perhaps most surprising entry is farmed tilapia. This fish is widely available, affordable, and often promoted as a healthy alternative to red meat. But when you look closer at how it's raised, the concerns are serious. Crowded pens filled with waste create conditions that require heavy use of antibiotics and chemicals. The feed often includes cheap fillers like corn, soy, and in some cases even chicken waste. The result is flesh with one of the most unbalanced fat ratios in the seafood world, sometimes as high as 11 omega-6 to 1 omega-3. That imbalance is strongly linked to higher inflammation, the very condition most seniors are already struggling to control. Studies have even shown that eating farmed tilapia can raise inflammatory markers more than eating bacon or hamburgers. Add to this the finding of dioxins, toxic industrial pollutants that can stay in the body for years, and you begin to see why experts call tilapia the junk food of the sea. For older adults, that means more joint pain, higher cardiovascular risk, and lower nutritional payoff for the calories consumed. When you compare it to wild-caught options that are both cleaner and more nourishing, tilapia simply isn't worth it. At this point, you may be asking yourself, how many of these fish show up in my kitchen each month? Imported catfish because it's cheap, tuna because it's convenient, mackerel without knowing which kind, or tilapia because it's always on sale? If you nodded yes to any of these, don't feel guilty, you're not alone. Millions of people make the same choices, thinking they are protecting their health. The key is not to give up fish altogether, but to make better swaps. The great news is that there are clean, affordable, nutrient-rich options you can start eating right away. These are the fish that actually support your body instead of undermining it. When we turn away from the danger list, we discover the fish that can help us age with more strength, clarity, and independence. These are the choices that deliver lean protein, omega-3s, and protective minerals without the heavy burden of toxins. The first is wild-caught Pacific cod. Cod may not be flashy or famous like salmon, but it deserves a place on your table. A single serving offers about 40 grams of clean, complete protein with less than 2 grams of fat and fewer than 200 calories. That profile is almost perfect for older adults fighting off sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle that affects nearly half of people over 80. Without enough quality protein, it becomes harder to rise from a chair, maintain balance, or carry groceries. Cod provides those building blocks in a light, digestible form. Beyond protein, cod is a champion of selenium, a mineral many seniors do not get enough of. Selenium works like a microscopic shield for your cells. It supports thyroid health, boosts immune defenses, and fights oxidative stress, the slow rusting of your tissues that accelerates aging. Just one portion of cod covers your entire daily selenium needs. Seniors with higher selenium levels have been shown to enjoy better cognition and lower risk of disease. Cod also brings phosphorus for bone strength and vitamin B12 for nerves and memory. Perhaps best of all, wild Pacific cod live short lives in clean, cold waters. That means very low mercury and fewer contaminants. For seniors seeking purity, cod is one of the safest bets. Bake or steam it gently. Drizzle a little olive oil. Squeeze fresh lemon. And you have a meal that nourishes muscles, brain, and bones all at once. Another underestimated hero is the humble sardine. Tiny, packed in cans, often overlooked, yet one of the richest natural sources of omega-3 fatty acids on Earth. Omega-3s are essential because they act as natural firefighters inside your body. They cool the chronic inflammation behind arthritis, clogged arteries, and memory decline. Seniors who eat sardines or other small oily fish at least twice a week show lower rates of heart disease, better mobility, and even more stable moods. Sardines also deliver something rare: natural vitamin D. As skin loses the ability to make vitamin D from sunlight, deficiency becomes common after 60. That deficiency weakens bones and raises fall risk. Just one can of sardines gives nearly half your daily vitamin D, along with calcium and phosphorus from the soft, edible bones. This is nutrition your body can absorb easily. Sardines are also virtually free of mercury because they feed on plankton at the bottom of the chain. That makes them one of the cleanest seafood options available. Add in high levels of vitamin B12 for nerve health and protein to maintain muscle, and you see why researchers call sardines a true superfood for aging. You can eat them straight from the can, mash them with avocado on whole grain toast, or toss them into a salad. Affordable, shelf-stable, safe sardines are a gift to seniors who want health without complexity. If there is one fish nearly everyone has heard about, it is wild Alaskan salmon. The bright pink flesh is more than attractive, it signals the presence of astaxanthin, a powerful antioxidant that protects eyes, skin, and nerves from oxidative stress. Salmon is loaded with the omega-3s EPA and DHA, the most valuable types for the brain. Seniors with higher DHA levels in their blood have been shown to keep larger brain volumes and stronger memory. Eating salmon regularly can lower markers of inflammation linked to stiff joints and cardiovascular disease. A typical serving provides about 40 grams of premium protein, exactly what aging muscles crave. Add selenium, B vitamins, and vitamin D, and you see why wild salmon is considered one of the most medicinal foods in the seafood world. But the key word here is wild. Farmed salmon often contains contaminants and lacks the same nutrient profile. Wild Alaskan salmon live free in clean waters and eat a natural diet, which keeps their flesh pure. Prepare it by baking or gentle grilling to preserve those delicate fats, and you will have a meal that truly supports longevity. Finally, we come to rainbow trout, perhaps the most senior-friendly fish of all. Raised under strict regulations in the United States, rainbow trout are clean, safe, and consistently rich in nutrients. A serving delivers about 1,000 milligrams of omega-3s, right in the sweet spot for heart protection. Trout also offers potassium, a mineral that helps balance blood pressure. Nearly 70% of people over 60 face high blood pressure, and potassium helps offset excess sodium naturally. Trout brings phosphorus for bones, iron for energy, zinc for immunity, and a strong B vitamin profile. One standout is niacin, or vitamin B3, which helps improve cholesterol by raising the good HDL and lowering the bad LDL. Add vitamin E for antioxidant protection, and you have a package that supports nearly every system at once. The mild flavor and tender texture make trout easy to digest, which matters when heavy fish feel uncomfortable. You can bake, pan-sear, or grill it with herbs and lemon. Its versatility helps you keep variety in your meals without sacrificing nutrition. Now, let's step back and look at the big picture. On one side are the danger fish: imported catfish, mercury-heavy tuna, king mackerel, and farmed tilapia. They carry residues, heavy metals, or inflammatory fats that quietly wear down your body. On the other side are the healing fish: Pacific cod, sardines, wild salmon, and rainbow trout. They are clean, balanced, and rich in nutrients your body needs after 60. The difference is not subtle, it can shape the quality of your life. Keep eating the wrong fish, and the risks of stroke, memory loss, joint pain, and premature aging climb higher. Choose the right fish, and you may give yourself stronger muscles, clearer memory, steadier balance, and a healthier heart. The power is in your plate. Start small. Swap one unsafe fish for one healing fish this week. Add just 1 or 2 servings of the right seafood and see how you feel. Over time, those small choices compound into a body that feels more alive, more capable, and more independent. You do not need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. You just need to steer the ship in a better direction. With each meal, you're investing in the energy to enjoy conversations, the strength to carry groceries, the memory to recall stories, and the confidence to live fully into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. So, the next time you walk through the seafood aisle or read a menu at a restaurant, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this choice going to add burden to my body? Or is it going to lighten the load? Remember the 4 to avoid. Remember the 4 to embrace. And remember that every choice you make now echoes into the years ahead. At the Elder's Guide, I believe aging should never mean decline. With the right decisions, your best years can still be in front of you. If this message helped you, share it with a friend who loves seafood, and subscribe for more science-based ways to live stronger, longer. Now I want to hear from you. What fish do you eat most often today? And will you be changing your dinner plans after what you've learned? Share in the comments. I read as many as I can, and I look forward to your stories.